Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You might be willing to do your own adventure. I hope you've seen Mad Adventures Season 1 and Mad Adventures Season 2. If you get the opportunity to take your Super 73 and go on an epic journey like this, you should do it. You should do it. You might be wondering, can I do it? Is it expensive? What should I prepare? How do you do this? And let me tell you, it's much simpler than what you think. Oh, and that huge number I've put in the title might be clickbait, but not fully. Stay until the end of the video and you'll understand. But before we start the video, you need to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't. All right, let's talk money. Let's go. I'm gonna try a new format, you know, where you get to enjoy the ride and I talk to you about how do you prepare for a crazy road trip on your Super 73. So the first thing to do is to know where you're going. And you have to understand how many kilometers you're gonna do from point A to point B. Now what I suggest is that you never do anything that is more than 180 kilometers, because otherwise it's gonna be a nightmare, it's gonna be hell on earth. If you're doing something between 150 to 180 kilometers, it's gonna be a hard day too. Between 120 to 150 kilometers, it's gonna give you a little challenge for the day. And everything under 120 kilometers is gonna be a very enjoyable day on a Super 73. If you're doing something around 120 kilometers, you're gonna bike for 6 hours. And if you're doing something around 150 kilometers, you're gonna ride for 8 hours. And that's why if you're doing anything close to 180 kilometers, you're gonna ride for 10 hours. And this is why it's gonna be a very, very, very hard day. So now that you know where you're going, how many kilometers you're gonna need to do every day, let's talk about what you need to bring with you. And for that, I've divided everything in 6 categories: bike stuff, clothes, food, hotel, video gear, and other expenses. So let's dive in the first category, the bike stuff. When we're talking about the bike, you need to think about many things. Obviously, the first thing is going to be the bike itself. You need to think about how many batteries you need to bring with you. If you're doing a full speed 50 kilometers per hour with your bike, then you will only be able to do 40 kilometers on one battery. If you're doing like 25 kilometers, 28 kilometers per hour, as an average, you will be able to do 65 kilometers with one battery. Now that you've got the bike and the batteries, you need to think about the safety of your bike. Locks, you can also add an alarm on your bike, and you can add a GPS tracker. And to tie all this security, well, you just need to get an insurance. For instance, you can take the insurance that I had for the Mad Adventure Season 2, which was a partner. It was QOVER Me. And they're pretty good because they insure your bike, and for 3 years, if you have your bike stolen or damaged, then you can ask for a full reimbursement. And also they can assist you 24/7 if you get a flat in the middle of your country. And what I would suggest to add is getting a rain cover. So when you're leaving your bike, you can lock it up and you put the rain cover over the bike, and then it's kind of hidden. I felt safer when I left the rain cover on the bike during the night and people don't see the bike. You need to think about if you have a problem. How many parts do you take? How many tools do you take? This is really depending on you. To me, I would take the bare minimum because I brought a lot of tools this time and I nearly used any. And to be honest, when I was in the middle of a field and I had to repair for a flat, all the tools was completely useless and I needed to go to a bike shop to repair the bike. So yeah, I would go bare minimum and try to find any bike shop on the way. Now, if you're doing an adventure in the middle of the desert, obviously you need to bring every part you can think of, everything that you can change, and every tools that you can think about. All this is already taking space. You need to think about which bags you're gonna put on your bike and which cases, or maybe a backpack, or what I used for the Mad Adventure Season 2, a trailer. The trailer can usually take something around 50 kilograms, so it's very useful. It's big, so you can take a lot of stuff. Now, the next thing you need to think about is, what do you wear during this adventure? What do you bring with you? Well, this depends on you. Do you want to take a lot of clothes, or do you want to take the bare minimum? I went to the minimalist configuration that you can have. I brought with me 5 pair of underwears, 5 pair of socks, 5 t-shirts, 2 pants, and 2 hoodies. And what was the most important for me was to be protected against the rain. That's why I had 1 raincoat and 1 rain pants and waterproof shoes, because on the first adventure, rain was a disaster, and I didn't want to repeat this problem on the Europe adventure because it was much longer. I don't want to be wet during all the day. All of these clothes were coming from Revit and Super 73 merch. All these clothes were given to me fully free. I didn't spend anything on clothes. So thank you, Revit. Just for that, I could say that this is the best brand ever. But I got visual proof. If you go check out Mad Adventure Season 2, I can prove to you that those clothes are the best. They protected me against the rain, against the mud, and they also can protect you against any fall. And I really suggest you get some Revit clothes. Now, Revit is starting a new branch of their clothes, especially for us, urban riders on bicycles. I'm pretty excited to see what they're gonna do with that. If you wanna buy now Revit clothes, I suggest you get some jeans and hoodies. They have protection on the shoulders and on the knees. Really good, and they're still very cool clothes and light enough for us having a nice stroll in the city. All right, now that you know everything about your bike, your clothes, let's move on to how much money do you spend on food. I didn't bring a lot of food with me. I spent 415 euros on food for 2 weeks. I often forget to eat at noon. My main meals were breakfast and sometimes dinner, if for instance there were a restaurant at the hotel. If I was really hungry during the day, I was going to get some snacks at the gas station, or I was going to a fast food or something very fast so I can keep moving forward, and then I could sleep and then go to dinner at the restaurant of the hotel. Now, the only thing that I would recommend for your adventure is to take a water bag. It's very convenient. It's called a camel bag. You put all your water inside a backpack and then you can drink even while on motion. The one that I took is like the amount of 1 bottle of water, and I think it's very useful so you can stay hydrated during your trip. That's all for food. Let's move on to hotels. By the way, meatballs. It was amazing and I love it. What do you need to know about hotels? Try to find a hotel where you think you can store your bike inside the room. This was actually the most stressful part for me, because I wanted to have the perfect distance, the most chance for me to be able to bring the bike inside the room. The earlier you book your hotel, the cheapest it is. So this is why it's best to plan your adventure the earliest possible. But now, let's talk about video gear. So obviously for me, video gear was an important category because I wanted to share everything that happened during this adventure. So I spent quite a lot of money. You don't have to spend that much money on this category. Maybe you just need to bring a phone. For me, I had the GoPros. Actually, I didn't pay for them. Thank you, GoPro. And they also sent me some accessories. And I had to get a drone. I need chargers, cables, external drive, my computer, obviously. So yeah, this part is not something that everyone needs to bring with them on an adventure. The only thing that I would suggest you take with you is at least a phone or something to take pictures, so you have visual reminder of this crazy adventure you did and a way to get back to it. So yeah, that's it about video gear. Now let's move on to the other expenses. I spent less than 200 euros on other expenses with gifts and stuff that I didn't foresee during my adventure. Now, you always should prepare an amount of money that you can spend for anything that could happen during your trip. Always get this safety net with you. And one last thing, it's not an expense, but it's someone, a donator, who gave me enough for a day of snack. So thank you for that. Now, if you had everything I spent for the Mad Adventure Season 2, €4,224, and you can easily drop down everything because you don't have to get all the video gear I got. You can get cheaper hotels if you book them earlier, not like me, and you don't have to take all the crazy tools that I got and so much bags and trailer if you don't take so much stuff. Obviously, if the distance of your adventure is long or short, well, it's gonna change the amount of money you need to put inside your adventure. Now, let's see why the 17K that I've put in the title is actually a real number for this adventure. With all the money I saved from my partners, I would need to add 6,000 euros. And this is not even covering the amount of money that I would have to spend for bringing the bike from Sweden back to France with Geodis, because this can vary between 700 to 3,000 euros. And obviously, if you don't have the bike and a helmet with you, you will need to spend another 4,500 euros just for that. So if you add everything up, it's going to cost you 17,000 euros. Thank God I didn't have to spend that much. But if you add the bike, I did spend 7,000 euros. All right, that's all for the video. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll leave you with the Eiffel Tower. See you on the next one, and have a great ride.